I was prepared for The Last Temptation of Christ to be a lot like Martin Scorsese's Silence. A movie so impenetrable to non-believers like myself that in addition to the "this is just Jesus fanfic, please don't be offended" title crawl, there should have been another disclaimer. You must be this Catholic to appreciate this film. Though, lo and behold, Scorsese, Willem Dafoe, and Paul Schrader give the Gospels a unique texture and immediacy that belies the portentous reputation of the movie. The driving conflict of Last Temptation is one that has been burning throughout the 2020s. What is the best path to revolution and social change? Initially, Dafoe's Christ, tormented as he is by his own compulsory, unconditional love, firmly takes the side that a utopian ideal of empathetic pacifism is the only way to mend the world. Standing in opposition is Judas Iscariot, Harvey Keitel, the spitting image of an insurrectionist who believes that the axe is the key to rending the Jews from the Roman stranglehold.
You want freedom for Israel?
No. I want freedom for the soul.
No, that's what I can't accept. That's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. First you free the body, then you free the spirit. The Romans come first. You don't build a house from the roof down. You build it from the foundation up.
The foundation is the soul.
The foundation is the body. That's where you must begin.
No, if you don't change the spirit first, change what's inside, then you're only going to replace the Romans with somebody else, and nothing ever changes. Even if you're victorious, you'll still be filled with the poison. You've got to break the chain of evil.
How do you change then?
With love.
Here, John the Baptist and the 40 days of wandering through the desert are more than just harbingers of the inevitable victory over sin, but rather a radical transformation in the philosophical outlook of Jesus. It's one where the core of Christian love remains, but righteous indignation confronts the entrenched establishment around him. Scorsese and Schrader imbue some of the greatest hits of the gospel with that subversive energy. Jesus rallies his disciples together with an invitation to war. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone is specifically directed at a man who mistreats his laborers. And Palm Sunday is rendered as an eerily familiar riot that ends with a standoff with the Roman guard. Instead of trying to glibly modernize biblical scripture, Scorsese and Schrader lean hard into the Iron Age exoticism that's otherwise alien to the Christianity of cathedrals and Protestant congregations. This is the primordial ooze of Christianity, of disheveled messianic cults chanting in the nude, of intricate wedding rituals, and of prostitutes covered in tattoos who are allowed to conduct business as long as they honor the Sabbath. Meanwhile, the more familiar aesthetic of the Romans is underplayed in what few scenes they are in, with modest tunics and dull browns instead of the reds and golds as seen in other biblical epics. Is it historically accurate? I'm not sure, but nevertheless it grants both an authenticity and mystique to the New Testament tales. Though a bunch of crazed Catholics didn't hurl death threats at Martin Scorsese and firebomb a movie theater because of historical inaccuracies. The irony is that rather than desecrating the Son of God, Jesus leaving the cross to go raise a family with Mary Magdalene actually brings a greater depth to his suffering. Too many movies, and one in particular, fetishistically dial in on the raw cruelty of the crucifixion.
Hey! Stop it. Stop it. Okay. All right.
However, the physical pain of that eventually ends with a death. Defoe's Jesus faces a more existential burden. 30 years of compulsory love, strict obedience to God, and a sinless life. Even if the latter two are no longer burdens outside the corporeal realm, every single emotional and spiritual pain of the entire world follows him to heaven. So when he takes up the offer to forfeit his own crucifixion in favor of living a mortal life with Mary Magdalene, he is granted a fulfilling, unburdened existence that he denied himself as the Son of God. It's not the promise of wealth or immense political power that Satan tempts him with, but rather the modest quietude of romantic and familial love we humans take for granted. For believers, it adds a potency to Christ's sacrifice in the canon text. by asking them to put aside their idealization of his iconography, i.e. the blasphemous image of Jesus sleeping with Mary Magdalene, and to use speculative fiction to examine their faith outside the bounds of pre-approved church doctrine. And for us non-believers, Schrader, or perhaps novel writer Nikos
Kazantzakis
leave plenty of ambiguity in that alt-reality. Regardless of whether Jesus actually died and resurrected, the Apostle Paul still proclaims on faith for both, and Christianity spreads from that. There's a sense that the idea of Jesus and his undying love is more powerful than the man himself. When it comes down to it, that's more subversive than even Christ getting it on with Mary Magdalene. For some, including myself, who believe unconditional Christian love for all of humanity is utter madness, that quiet family life in the movie's coda is much more heavenly than the lot of being the Son of God. It's telling that it's not duty to his father or any high ideal that causes Jesus to return to the cross at the end of the film, but his own devotion to his disciples. It's a deeply rooted personal love that brings him back to the status quo of the scriptures and ultimately ties the Christian faith together.
It is accomplished!